Swingers.
Yeah, I was gonna say fish.
Can I really quick just get a quick family photo?
Yeah. They look more better than I do, but.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, cheese.
My daughter's very calm. She's very, obviously, as a parent, we're always gonna say, oh, my kids are super smart. And I've always said that, I'm always like, my kids are smart as heck.
Help me.
I'm right here. You're not gonna fall. Swing. You're doing good. Like swing.
Like, I remember her growing up, when we had my son, she would hold his hand when he would cry. She has a very caring personality. And then my son, he's 3, he's a boy, so he's crazy. He's up and down. We actually, no joke, we just went to hospital. Because he was jumping from bed to bed, and he jumped and he hit himself right here on his bed frame, and it swelled up like crazy. He was fine though, but I mean, that's him. My partner is Claudia. She's 24 as well. She's a month older than me. And then we had my daughter when I was 19. We were both 19. She was like, hey, I signed us up for this group. We're gonna go. And I was like, you're gonna go, I'm not gonna go. Like, for couples group. And she was like, no, we both have to go. I can't go alone. And I was like, man, like, I don't wanna go. But I remember I went and I was like, oh man, this is really not my typical circle, it's very diverse. This is not really, who I hang around with. I grew up in Santa, the area that I grew up in. There was a gang, which was literally the next street over. So I grew up seeing, people like get killed or like, my dad was a part of a gang when he grew up. He had a certain lifestyle. So I was like, you know what, that's not what I want to do, I love him, but I don't want to head down that route. Because she also grew up in our neighborhood, just as bad. We both come from like broken families. Just having this whole new environment of, it's all positive and let's uplift each other and let's pray, let's do this, let's do that. It's a whole different game changer than what we're used to. For me, at least, something that I've taken the most out of it, I want to say Dad's Group, to be honest. I feel like Dad's Group has very much impacted my life. Just hearing other dads speak about their issues, their backgrounds, how they grew up, and seeing that we relate in a sense. We're all trying to make money to provide, but we're also all trying to be there for the family. Because I know being a young dad is scary. Now, when you have multiple kids, being a young dad, that's even scarier. We all have some sort of like, man, life is kind of hard. But I do remember at one point it did kind of get like a little dark. Me and her were having issues. I was having issues with my parents. I was kind of battling like a lot in my head. Like, it was getting a lot worse than I was able to handle. Again, like, I would get like vivid thoughts of, I don't belong in this world, like, and let me just, like I said, leave a note for them. So I was having thoughts like that where I was like, man, these are getting kind of bad. Like, it's clear that I can't do this on my own no more. Like, I'm kind of losing this battle here. To talk to Mr. B was a very big, like, that's because I was getting those very negative thoughts. Remember, I left work, I talked to him, sat with me for like about an hour and a half. We talked, and I mean, he was there, he listened, he was able to help, and he got me to therapy. I feel like I can confide in him in anything. So for me, I think that's what helped a lot for me to be able to be open with him and let him know I'm not okay, and that's okay. He has a big heart and he cares a lot for us. I've seen him reach out to dads that someone wouldn't have to do, You don't have to call, hey bro, I'm just checking up on you, how are you doing? He does that very constantly. He'll call me, hey, just want to check in. I know you're probably at work. How's it going? You just want to make sure you're good. We always remember that you can talk to me. Other dads and sisters, same thing. So again, that's someone that has a heart for caring, And that's what I try to implement, That's why I give my phone number, my Instagram to dads. Reach out to me if you ever need anything, But again, I didn't have any advice. There was no one I can talk to about it. There was no one that I can confide in. So when I got there, I felt odd. I didn't want to go there. Why? Because it wasn't the environment that I was used to. It wasn't the guys that I was hanging out with. It wasn't the circle that I grew up with. Now I do hang out with a lot of the dads from Firsters. I ended up becoming really close friends with a lot of them. So it's more like a family now, to be honest. At least so I see. I see a lot of them like pretty close. Now I go to work. I play soccer on Fridays if I can, and I hang out with friends from Firsters. The vibe that's given, it's just a positive thing to where my kids actually, they look forward to going to them and, they speak highly of them. And my kids were, oh, look, that has Jesus. We see a cross, look, that has Jesus. So I'm like, dude, what is, this is big. I remember one time she was scared at night and she's like, no, it's okay, Dad, I'm okay. Jesus is with me. So I was like, no, you're right, like Jesus is with you, So for me to hear that from her, I was like, that's huge. And you know, she's not necessarily learning that from me as much as I would, you know, love to be the one to teach her that. She's learning that from firsters. I just see the way they treat my kids, and I'm like, man, they treat my kids like if my kids were their kids. And to have that kind of people in your life, you know, it's not very common, you know. I think it's very rare that you find someone that's like, you know what, whatever your kid needs, like, you know, I'm here to help. And I think that's something that I've been able to see very clearly in firsters.